touch. I gotta get it. I put myself on the line. People with no faces, look at how they chase you. You cannot escape it. They don't know you wanna die. Suicidal nature, inhumane erasure. You cannot escape it. I'm walking on the line. Always too busy when I'm on the ride. Don't look too pretty, but I like it. Ooh, I do not mind it when I'm out of touch. I gotta get it, gotta get it. Yeah, don't it feel like everybody's trying to fend for their own in these spaces? Well, I'm not the type to lie. I got some secrets I won't ever see the sun. I bet you know. Ain't no mob coming for me. Oh, it's pretty lonely when I'm sad like a phony, a clown with the sad eyes. I'm walking on the line, I'm on the line, walking. If it's not a telephone call, I ain't talking myself on the line. People with no faces, look at how they chase you. You cannot escape it. They don't know you wanna die. Suicidal nature, inhumane erasure. You cannot escape it. I'm walking on the line. Always too busy when I'm on the ride. Don't look too pretty, but I like it. Ooh, I do not mind it when I'm out of touch. I gotta get it, gotta get it.
Today I woke up and I felt alive because I picked up the call of the wild and I stopped waiting for it to come pick me up. See, if it rings your name at a phone booth in London or bumps shoulders with you in a crowded museum hallway in Shanghai, well, maybe that's a sign.
She got the blue hair.
Hello, people. Happy Saturday. Good evening or good morning or good night, wherever you are. I hope you're having a good day. And that's all you get from my beautiful voice. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So, we had our entries yesterday on many different coins. I entered long on ADA, Bitcoin, and Sol. Unfortunately, Ethereum didn't have anything of substance for us to jump into. I would have liked, all things considering, to be in an Ethereum long trade, but I have a rule set for how I do things, so unfortunately I couldn't just hop in along. Now, the only thing that did happen that is maybe a little bit outside the bounds is I did enter Sol a tad bit early, just considering the fact that Bitcoin had confirmed its, bullishness. ADA had went into its entry point. So I took a shot in the dark and I did enter Sol a tad bit early. I entered at 134.92, so just a little bit below the entry point, which ended up working out. I haven't been stopped out yet or anything like that, and I was up about $32 when I went to sleep last night. Obviously, the market's having a little bit of a retest to the downside, which isn't uncommon. All right, we're coming off a good bit of downside momentum, so retesting some previous supports is obviously a good idea if we want to see some future price action to the upside. The title of today's stream is "It Only Goes Up which in no way, shape, or form am I, it's just a bullshit title that I made up in my head before I hopped on. It's not meant to be taken serious. But yeah, this is, as we said, I probably will be taking profit on the Tron trade. When we talked yesterday, I opted not to take profit because that's kind of our hedge against our psychology if we did see some downside price action. Because at the time it was only sitting at about, I think, $15 or $16 worth of profit. And although it's not necessarily anything substantial, we are now at $23 profit. If I take profit on that, it will cover the stops if they end up getting hit on like 2.5 of the trades that I have open. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Before I do that, let's go check the chart real quick. Trading view. Go ahead and open up TRX real quick. TRX just seems to be bullish, bullish, bullish. So, although I do think that there is the possibility for more downside, I'm more concerned with covering the longs that I have open than anything else, because I am fairly confident that we will see upside. Now, as I said before, I am not quite convinced yet that this is an actual bottom for the retest of like 71,000, 72,000, 74,000. It definitely could end up being this could be an A to a B, and then we would have one more downside set of price action, and then hopefully confirming back above whatever that newfound pattern would be. But due to statistics, I really do think there's a good possibility for a decent bit of upside price action with a medium dump once we get back to the top of the range. So we've consistently been pumping to the top of the range, which is around 69,000, and then getting a rejection and putting in lower lows. I think that this time around we will get a pump to the top of the range, and I do suspect that we will get a subsequent dump just like we have many, many times before. But instead of putting in a lower low, I think we're probably just going to return back down to 59K or whatever it might be, and put in that higher low and start trying to work ourselves out of this. In the past, the bull market, if it does align with an election cycle, typically we don't take off in a parabolic mindset until after the election. But I think we will start building kind of a bullish structure before then. So that's why I am definitely on the side that this could be a low that brings us back up to this range. Obviously, at that point, we would have to be watching out for an ABC here. All right, this would probably be our main entry point. Hopefully, if that does end up coming into action, we get some sort of ABC top a little bit higher, giving us a better entry point. Now that short trade definitely would be a hedge position. I would be taking profit on it because this is a shorter term time frame account at the moment. Whenever we get back down to maybe this local low here of about 58,000, which would obviously be a good bit of profit, and then hopefully we can continue to hold it into the next bit of upside. Now, TRX. So TRX did have a pretty substantial wick to the downside on most exchanges, not quite as extreme as we had on LBank. And traditionally, we do like to use the extremes when it comes to ABCs. We like to use the wicks. But traditionally, usually when I'm talking about that, I'm usually talking about wicks like this or like this. This is a pretty decent sized wick here. So I have a feeling that this is not really what it's going to turn out to be. we kind of have the A to a B structure here. Obviously, if we're discounting the wick and kind of looking at that as an outlier. So at that moment in time, this would be a bullish structure, kind of a double bottomish for Tron. And with the rest of the market being in bullish positions as well, I want to go ahead and take the profit just in case. Not as a, I want to secure my profit because I want to make extra money. Like I said, at the end of the day, I'm concerned with keeping as much as possible the loss to be minimal off of the trades that I'm currently open in. So I'm going to go ahead and take profit on Tron short and be done with that. Just one less thing to worry about. There's like a piece of hair like just hanging. What is that? I can see it in the camera, but I don't. What is that? Right, now that we kind of got the main parts out of the way, I can go say hi to you guys. Day Boots. Good evening, Kite. How you doing, man? What's going on? Longo. Here we go. Absolutely. Tootcast. Hi. How you doing? Rodrigo. What's up, man? Juno. Let's go. Twixie. What's going on, man? Wait, can you not hear me? Oh, no, you can. Okay. Misa, what's going on? How you doing? Having long position on Sol and AVAX, missing the BTC entry. I don't think you're going to be too sad about that. Like, let's say, for example, we do start heading to the upside pretty decently here. I don't think you're going to be pissed off that you missed the BTC entry. Obviously, that one tends to be the one that you get stopped out the least on. If you're playing that Sol entry right now, especially with a tight stop loss, you might have been stopped out once already. But Sol, obviously, is the largest structure that we currently have. I'm going to go take a look at that. Sol is the largest structure that we currently have in terms of ABC. So that should give us a little bit more confidence in what's going to happen here. Obviously, with a structure that large, at minimum, I'd be expecting a retest of the immediate local high. So we can kind of count on at least getting that. That would become a hedged position in the future if we happen to come above it, come back below it. But with a lot of the macro local highs here, we should be looking to retest, 189 to all the way up to like 209. And that's a lot of profit. I do have to say that's a lot of profit to be had. Up to 209, depending on what your stop loss is. That's a pretty hefty R&R. Bitcoin, although, is also pretty decent at the moment. I wouldn't say it's close to that. So, I mean, if we can see $200 on Sol, I mean, this small portfolio is going to see a very large boost in its future. So, I mean, for ADA, some of the targets macro-wise would be, hopefully, coming back up to this range here. So, around the 70-cent mark. So these are trades that I will be holding for quite a bit of time. Obviously, with Cardano, we have the larger ABC structure here, and then we took part in the pullback retest ABC off of this one. So we should start charging up here if things are going to continue. Like I said, we're kind of in flux right now. We definitely could still break down to the downside, but if we do get a nice bounce from here, we would at least be expecting... Okay. We should be expecting a retest of 45 cents at minimum. 45 to 52 cents. But, like I said, hopefully a test back to the top of this range. And these are trades that I'm going to be holding for quite a bit of time here. These aren't trades I'm going to be taking profit on immediately. I might be taking profit on the hedge positions if things look correct. But other than that, these are going to be on our chart for quite a bit. And of course, the other day, like I explained on Ethereum has a large A to B to C on the macro. And that level to get back above to be what would be considered macro bullish would be 2,815. If we were able to get some sort of BTC long position down here to play into that structure and then have this nice support level as kind of a shield acting against our trade, that would be awesome. But unfortunately, we just haven't got such a pattern yet. All right. If things do continue to the downside for quite a bit, all right, we do have the possible position of A to B to C, which would be in confluence with this local low here. So if we were able to get that position, that wouldn't be too bad. Now, of course, if that happened, more than likely we would be stopped out of most, if not all, of the current long positions, but I'm not afraid to just jump back into them. That wouldn't really bug me at all. You know, if we could add another long to the board and make more profit, so be it. What's getting stopped out once or twice? Quarter Crawler, what's going on, man? You said good morning, traders. Been a minute. It has been a minute for a lot of us. Luna Moon, what's going on? How you doing? There's a BTC entry right now on the 15-minute. I saw that. I did see that. So, I mean, on the shorter term time frames, that is... I wouldn't necessarily take a position off of that, but it is nice to see, at least. You know, we're looking at Bitcoin here. We did have an A to B to C on the downside. So that position would be here. And you can see right now at this current moment, we're coming back down to retest and hopefully finding support off of it and continuing. Go ahead and get rid of that line. It's not of any use to me. And I mean, you could take it a step further. I highlighted the larger structure here, but you know, if we were to go to like a chart that could probably actually see it here, we do have a super small A to B to C as well, which is, you know, like I said, I probably wouldn't be taking trades off of something like that, but it's nice to see, at least. You know, obviously we stick to the larger macro structure here, and you can see how we're kind of building these layers of support. It's nice to kind of put those puzzle pieces together. So obviously we have the larger structure. Right here, which is where we collected our entry yesterday on stream. And then we have the A to B to C within that C wave, which price action has since then recovered and has been using as support. And then on that line of support, we have another smaller A to B to C, which then has collected support. It's nice to see these things kind of working out and seeing those layers of support being built and being retested. Would I take trades off of those? Probably not. You know, this already was a very skinny ABC in itself. Obviously, when we look at ABCs, we do like to, you know, see the thicker boys, like this one right here. You know, it's nice, thick. You can see each individual trend, and it gives you a lot more confidence. On thin trends like this, although they are still legitimate, there is a level of worry, you know, personally from me. You know, not in terms of like, oh, I'm going to lose a trade or whatever. You know, our risk management should be able to handle that. But obviously, I have a little bit less faith in it when it comes to those. But all the same, I'm not too shy to take those. But how's everybody doing today? Hopefully you guys caught some of these entries yesterday and you're not sitting there empty-handed. Because so the short trade that we took on Ethereum, although it was very beneficial to the account, though, that wasn't the trade that's supposed to like set you ahead of the game. All right, this is the moment in time. All right, we're down at the bottom of the range and we have the positions. If things work out correctly, we should proceed to the top of the range. That's where the real money is made, with those macro ranges being able to take a bottom to top trade or a top to bottom trade. So, I mean, if all of these trades work out to their fullest potential, I mean, the $100 portfolio would then be sitting at, above 1,000. It should be close to 1,200, 1,300, 1,400. And that would be very, very nice. Obviously, 10xing the portfolio in just kind of 2 sets of trades, respectively, is very cool to see. And then from there, obviously, we have to wait for things to kind of give us an out, but then we would be able to exit those trades and either re-enter with the momentum or play against the market with the increased margin. From there, maybe we can get up to that 2K, 3K, 4K, 5K mark. That's where things get super exciting. I don't have any goal for the small portfolio that we're working on. Obviously, if we can see, even $10,000, I think is a very respectable thing that not a lot of people would be able to do in the first place. But another 100,000 doesn't sound bad. Am I doing the $100 account for fun? Essentially, it's a good challenge, because if you have a lot of money and you have the skill, more importantly, the psychological skill, you should be able to make a good amount of money, right? Because you don't have to really use a lot of percentage risk to make a lot of dollars. But with a $100 account, it's a greater challenge, not just from the sense of, in order to get from 100,000, from 100 to 100,000, you got to be able to do things appropriately. You have to do things psychologically that you really don't like to do. Everybody likes to make money faster. And if you spend 2 or 3 weeks in a trade and you only see $50, $60 worth of profit, which percentage-wise is absolutely amazing, that does something to someone. They go, I just spent 2 weeks and I only made $60. If you're doing everything correctly, that's what it should be. So it creates an interesting perception problem where you're fighting greed versus just doing things correctly. And as well as that, I like these small portfolios. One, because it doesn't make me seem unapproachable. I think when you go to other people's trading streams and they have $10, $15, $20,000 worth of profit on their screen, to them, they have other sources of income and obviously a lot more money in their portfolio to work with. So those numbers aren't unattainable for them. And it's hard for the person to really relate to that. So if I start a $100 portfolio, which the majority of people probably can afford to start with, and I turn it into 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, or hopefully even more, then the proof is in the pudding. It's right there. At that point, it's a matter of you. There is no excuse anymore. And it allows me to connect with people in a different way. It allows me to be excited with people over $50. Because I like to look at things from a percentage point of view. On that first long trade that we took on Bitcoin, to go from $100 to $150 is a huge deal. You can extrapolate that out. If you had $100,000 and you did the same exact thing, percentage-wise, you would go from 100,000 to 150,000, which obviously feels better, but it's the same percentages. So that's the whole thing. It's fun for me because it's an interesting, it's an actual challenge, but it's also more so that when I hop on stream, people feel like they are able to actually follow along with what I'm doing. Not necessarily me babysitting them and giving them entries, but they have an actual mode of comparison. Do you watch KDA, large ABC on the weekly? Yeah, we check it pretty much every single stream. I don't leverage trade KDA, so there's no real reason for me to check on it daily. But yeah, we do have the macro ABC marked out here, and obviously there's a medium time frame ABC on the pretty much the same exact entry point. But this is all from a spot buy. You know, I spot buy, you know, all through this uptrend. I spot bought all the way down through this downtrend. And kind of my cutoff point is if we do happen to go below this level by a good percentage, you know, probably 10, 15%, I'll probably be letting go of KDA until we either come back above or dump lower and form some sort of structure for me to re-enter upon. But at the moment, you know, there's nothing really left to do except for wait. There's no sense of action. Kyle, you ever use the NAMI indicator? Who's Kyle? I'm Kite. I'm sure it's probably just autocorrect or something. No, I've never heard of the NAMI indicator. I don't really have any interest in it. What I do is very profitable, and it's stress-free, and it's something that I am comfortable with. I just don't have any interest to go look at an indicator. Well, you might go, well, it called this dump and this pump and this dump and this pump. I could do the same thing with ABCs. My goal isn't to change your mind. It's just to, you know, show you what I'm doing. But I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm not particularly interested in indicators. Do market taker fees cut too much into the profits of these small trades? No. I've been primarily a market trader for a very long period of time, and because of the nature of my strategy, yeah. Do I pay more fees than the next guy? Of course, but I guarantee you I make more profit per trade. You know, the trades that work out, I guarantee you my R&Rs are incredible. So the fees kind of get dwarfed by the profit that's made per trade. And the way that LBank does it is the fees aren't tacked on to the margin that I want. They are subtracted from the margin that I put in. So it's kind of already factored into my risk per se. So, you know, for example, I believe the margin on this ADA trade was supposed to be $21. But I put in $21 cost, and instead of just giving me $21 worth of margin and then charging the fee, well, then it subtracts the fee from the 21, and now the margin is $20.34. So it kind of bakes it into my risk, where I'm only losing exactly what I'm supposed to on each trade. But obviously the profit is so major that, you know, am I really going to miss a $1 fee, 50-cent fee, 20-cent fee when I'm making several hundred? That's kind of the gist of it. Of course, you know, if you nickel and dime everything, you know, eventually, if you had $1 million portfolio, would it make sense to approach the market from this standpoint? I would still think so. You know, if the liquidity is there and it's able to fill those market orders, the same thing still stands. The profit that would be made on the latter end of that would really dwarf the fees that are involved. Yes, I did. I did buy Apple stock on the last ABC bottom. Particularly, AMD has been one that I've been using ABCs a lot. So like AMD, for example. And I really liked this because back when I really started getting into ABCs, there was a high school student that approached me, and I forgot which one it was. I think it might have been this one. No, it was like either 2021 or 2022, so it had to have been this one here. I'm not sure, but there was a high school student that approached me, and he was like, hey, you're pretty good at this stuff. I'm trying to pass my marketing class or whatever it was, where they had to pick a stock and grow a portfolio by 20% by the end of the year. So I told him, I was like, be patient. And I think at the time, we didn't quite put in this ABC yet, or maybe it was, kind of on this downtrend here. But I told him, like, once we come back above this level here, just buy into AMD and hold on to it. Set up a nice stop loss underneath this, but other than that, hold on to it. And by the end of the year, he was he was up like 100%. AMD has had some exceptional ABCs over the years. So we had you can either use this one or this one, A to B to C. That was a nice ABC bottom. This one was a fast structure, but we did end up putting in that lower low. Very slightly, but we did. So you would have pretty much caught the exact bottom of that downtrend, so ABC there. We had a very thin ABC right here that you could have taken part in. We had an ABC right here. Obviously, we had the macro one. Now, this one would have been choppy. You would have had A to B to C, and then you probably would have entered here. And then we had, A to, you could continue to extend this A to B to C here. And then you probably would have entered that one, ended up getting stopped out. But obviously, the larger structure appeared, and that's when things start to get a little bit better. And at the moment, although I do have some varying concerns, obviously from a macro standpoint, we do have an A to a B to a C. So at the moment, from a macro standpoint, AMD is not healthy in my eyes, especially with the retest here and looking like a rejection. But there is perhaps more room to the upside. So I mean, this is a battleground region. It looks like neither side is really giving up. We do have an A to a B to a C. So at the moment, AMD is literally bullish and bearish at the same exact time. Obviously, the macro does take the lead in terms of probability, but literally while we are between these two levels, that's like 165 and 140, it's Schrodinger's AMD. We are bullish and bearish at the same exact time, and neither side is really wrong, because we do have a bullish structure calling for more upside, but obviously the macro, considering where we are, is calling for more downside. So AMD is in a state of flux. But Apple isn't something that you can really take advantage of ABCs all the time. You can see that we had, and this is what why I'm not exactly fully bearish on AMD. We did have a macro ABC top, which ended up kind of giving us a momentary scare, but we ended up working it out. Ended up finding support off this last local low, and that is okay. But yeah, there is a bunch of different points to. This is where I bought into Apple off of this ABC here. And Apple doesn't give you many ABC opportunities. It gives you every once in a while. And if you don't take advantage of it, well, then it's gone. We had A to a B to a C right here. And then if I was to go back even further, this is all the way back in 2008. We had an A to a B to a C right here. We had an A to a B to a C right here. And we had a very fairly large one right here as well. So Apple doesn't give you many opportunities, but the ones that they do, they produce results. You can't deny that. CryptoFace is in the short. That's the thing. Like, I don't think that someone that is in a short position right now is stupid. All right, the market can do weird things, and I'm sure he has some sort of reason to be in a short, whether that's fundamentals based off of previous month statistics or whatever it might be. To me, I have my method of entry. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I lose a little bit of money. But if it works, I win a lot. So, I have disagreements about CryptoFace. Don't get me wrong, about the ethics of some of the things that he promotes. But, him being in a short, I don't think makes him an idiot. Now, if he shorted the support level, that does begin to raise question. But if I was still short from the ABC top on Bitcoin and I was just holding on to it because there's always the likelihood we don't have a significant ABC pattern yet telling us to go long. We have an ABC pattern, but is it of a decent size? No. But it's there. So yeah, like if I was still holding the short position, but if I'm shorting at support levels, if I'm shorting local lows, unless we're underneath them, then I don't think that necessarily makes sense. What VPN do I use? I just use the built-in VPN on Opera GX. Bro, what are you really seeing when you look at the Dash chart? Lots of speculation about privacy coins at the moment. Go look at Dash. To be honest, there's nothing in the immediate term of any signs of bullishness. From a macro perspective, let's look at that. We have a so our most recent ABC structure is A to B to C from a macro perspective. Oh, not the tool that I wanted to use here. So price action is still above that. So it's bullish from that perspective. We definitely would like to get back above this previous local low here, which we got a rejection last time we were at. And then on the smaller time frames, we collected support off of an ABC structure down here. So at the moment, there is bullishness from a macro perspective, nothing really on the smaller time frames. It pretty much comes down to the fact of if we can't hold $22.71, it definitely screams that we probably would like to see a lower low. And that's all there really is to say. I'm not bullish or bearish ever from a dogmatic perspective of I like this coin or I don't like this coin. It simply comes down to what are the support and resistances saying, how much room do we have to one side or the other, and what is the actual current market structure. At the moment, the current market structure is definitely on the side of bearishness, especially getting rejected at previous support levels. But at the moment, at this very current moment, we do have support and we have put in a smaller time frame bullish structure here. Whether or not we make that high or low and start digging our way out of this is a different story. Anyone hating on CryptoFace is simply a creatine hater? A cretin? Dude has made so much money, doesn't need to prove anything. I agree. Like, I don't think anybody needs to prove anything. But I don't think it's necessarily... I think, you know, saying the word hating is kind of just what's the word? Straw manning it? Is that correct? Basically just making it seem like it's no big deal, or just people being stupid. I think it's okay to have disagreements with people. Like, I disagree with a lot of CryptoFace. And to say like, oh, he's made so much money, you know, if that's the metric for what you consider someone that is deserving of respect and no question, then yeah, I guess, yeah, people are just hating. But if we're looking at it objectively, he is a trader, and that's where his influence comes from. To say that he's made all of that money from strictly trading, I think would be false, to say the least. ADA is in a great spot for upside right now. Definitely. I mean, ADA is definitely at the bottom of its range. You know, if we're looking at this from a macro perspective here, you know, our next macro local high is at 80 cents. We have a medium time frame ABC acting as support at this, you know, current moment. Right here, A to B to C. And we have the makings of a possible higher low to start a trend back up to the top of the range. You know, at minimum, the last ABC high there. But obviously we would be looking to retest the actual local high. So yeah, we got a decent bit of support. We're at the bottom of the range with a lot of upside potential. And past that point, we got nothing but good things if things do continue. Obviously, the next real death potential would be, you know, macro ABC like this. But we'll see when we get there. Do you hold spot ETH? A very small amount. I don't hold, you know, typically what I would used to. You know, when Ethereum was proof of work, I held a good majority of my portfolio in Ethereum. And although I do think that Ethereum will do well, it's also a matter of voting with my dollars. I don't want crypto to go proof of stake. I would like it to maintain proof of work. I would like increases in efficiency, not only from a block perspective in terms of the block speed, but I would like efficiency in the power. You know, whether that's recycling heat into thermal energy from the mining farms or whatever it might be. So, although I will, I love money. It's what makes the world go round, but it's not the majority of my holdings. I would say it's less than 25%. The majority of it is obviously Bitcoin. Hoping this retest of support holds here. Because if we don't hold support here, it definitely has a good bit more to dump down. And I would have to probably find a different entry point if I wanted to play off a soul. It wouldn't be 132, I can tell you that. We would need something a little bit more substantial for me to take part in if this entry point fails. So much hype on FET. The abbreviations for tokens sometimes can be misleading, like WIF. It wasn't until I went to CoinMarketCap that I found out that WIF was another dog token. Tron Dog is trending. FET. Artificial Superintelligence Alliance. Has a circulating supply of 2.5 billion. Current market cap 2.9 billion. And let's look at the chart. So at the moment, we do have a large A to a B to a C, with a A to a B to a C within the C wave. We are currently above that. We have retested as support. Since then, we have gotten a decent bounce off of it. Nothing substantial, but we do seem to have the makings of a reversal. And you would be targeting the previous local highs here, 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 and here for immediate retests. Your next scare would be here. All right, that would be your head short position on FET. And the hope would be that you turn that into a continuation to the upside there. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad from a macro structure perspective. On the smaller time frames, I really can't see anything. Obviously, on the very, very, very small time frame, we have an ABC. But I don't put any stock in stuff like that. All right, if the ABC is not at least visible on the 2 hour, then it probably isn't something that I really need to worry about. I don't get into coin politics like that anymore. It just doesn't. It's not worth it to me. I mean, I guess I'm a little bit hypocritical when I'm talking about proof of stake versus proof of work. But, you know, Fed is okay, Tau is better. To me, I could give two shits about which one is better. Time will tell that, you know. What time frames would you say ABC works best, and which one do you trade the most? So I've said it many times before. ABCs aren't like an indicator. So like, let's say market cipher, for example. If you go to the daily, the market cipher is going to have a bunch of green dots and red blood diamonds that the 5-minute won't have. So it kind of gives you the illusion of which time frame do I need to use to be the most successful, blah, blah, blah. ABCs are nothing like that. They're similar in some aspects, all right, because I do talk about time frame in terms of the structure stability. But at the end of the day, it's not so much about the time frame, but more of the perspective. So using a larger time frame forces your perspective to only be able to see the ABCs that are going to carry any sort of weight. You know? And all the stuff that's happening on the smaller time frames are kind of just blended into the candles. So you don't really have the even the attempt to really see and try to play off of those. So my personal opinion is, now this is different because, you know, the resolution of your screen will actually determine whether or not you need to be using a larger time frame or not. So on a 4K monitor, a 2-hour time frame allows me to see a very significant portion of the price action. So I can spot the macro trend high and the macro trend low. So technically at the moment, this is our range. Now, in order to maintain a bullish structure, you know, our range is technically from 53,500 all the way up to the top. But for all intents and purposes, this is our range. And then we can start working our way from there. You know, I can spot out, all right, we have an A to a B to a C. So we took a short position off of this, not necessarily off of Bitcoin, but we took it off of Ethereum, which had a very similar structure, just worked out better. And then I can see the A to the B to the C here, which tells me that, you know, we could find support and continue and try to retest some of these highs. But yeah, like I said, it's not so much about time frame, but matter of perspective. The size of the structure that you're playing will kind of determine the significance of the numbers that you can expect. You know, a very, very small ABC should not be the reasoning that we retest this. It's in combination of other things. You know, we have the macro ABC structure in combination of this medium time frame structure, which is hopefully a retest of support built from this structure here. You know, these are our support levels in this structure. So if we continue to stay bullish here, we should expect continuation, you know, a retest of at least 65,254, but hopefully continuation back to the top of the range in some form or another. Not tuned in for a long time. I like your hair. Looks boss. Thank you very much. It's generic white guy haircut. That's what I ask for when I go to the barber. So I appreciate it. What's your Discord, Kite? The Discord is available through the Patreon, link in the description. I say it all the time. All right. The Discord, it's $50. There is a discount on the lifetime membership, which at the moment comes with, you know, a free one-on-one session just so we can sit and talk and you can explain to me how ABCs work and I can correct you or however you want it to work. If you can't afford that, which I don't blame you, it's not something that you necessarily need to sign up for. I'm going to try to maintain some sort of semblance of hopping on live stream either every day or every other day, you know, when we start to approach entries. So if that's not something that you can swing right now, then that's okay. Like the live streams, I have never once hid anything. I don't hide my entries so that you go sign up for the Discord. If I enter, I tell you exactly where. I will tell you the exact stop loss. I'll tell you my exact kind of what I'm estimating for my take profit. I'll tell you everything as long as you ask. And of course, I, tell it anyways as best as I can. Sometimes I miss something, and then you just have to ask the question. But yeah, the live streams, I will tell you exactly how I enter and exit trades, all that jazz. You just have to ask the questions or watch. Just got here. We talk about blood diamonds yet? I don't care about blood diamonds. I don't care. To me, a blood diamond is an ABC top at the top of a macro range. All right. When I see an ABC top and we're at the top of a macro range and we have confirmed it to the downside, that is a blood diamond. All right. I don't need any momentum indicator. I can see it. It's there. And I can get an actual entry off of it. So, if the top of the range was 69,000 based off of the previous all-time high, well then whenever we're at that level and we see an ABC top and that ABC top comes back below the A, well then I am super duper ooper booper duper bearish on the market until we get back down to at least the bottom of the range. So at that time the bottom of the range was here, and then the bottom of the range moved here, and then the bottom of the range moved here. But those also give you optional positions to go long. You could have gone long here, and you could have gone long here. ABCs are more Elliott wave. Yeah. So I mean, the idea for ABCs came from a book, which is A Case for Modification of R. and Elliott's Impulse Wave Structure by Ian Copsley. And now I even took that book and simplified it. So that book was basically talking about, how Elliott wave is too set in its rule base, and because of that, it involves a lot of egotism, and it causes traders to miss out on actual profit potential. So ABCs to me, although it is partly Elliott wave structure, I'm looking for ABCs to the upside. I'm looking for ABCs to the downside, whereas ABCs traditionally would only be a downside correction structure. Now, if you really want to go crazy with it, all right, what is an ABC to the upside? Well, we have an A, a 1 to a 2 to a 3, and then a 4 and a 5. All right, so usually what that means is the 1, the 2, and the 3 create an uptrend. 4 will break that uptrend, and 5 will retest that uptrend with hopefully a failure, which is where we take our trades. So if you kind of get rid of the noise and focus on what really matters, which is the big swings, well, now you only have an A to a B to a C. And who really cares about the 1 to 2? And that's where ABCs come from. And as well as that, I don't add any Nostradamus type of indicator. I'm not using Fibonacci retracements and going, we hit the golden pocket, it's time to get out, we're reversing to the upside. How many times has that not worked? Be honest. Right here, for example. All right, the golden pocket would be around this mark here, 61,000, 59,000. So you take your profit expecting that that's where the market's going to bounce from. But then we continue falling to the downside. How many times has that golden pocket worked out for you? So ABCs are more about willing to work with the market and stop this act of pretending that you know where stuff is going to go and that you know where the trend is going to stop. It's about listening to the market. ABCs are kind of like a whisper in the wind that things could be turning. It doesn't necessarily mean that the uptrend is going to stop. It could mean that it's a momentary pit stop on the uptrend. but it's about listening to the market for those moments where things aren't as certain in other people's heads, taking advantage of that with good risk, and being able to play it for everything that's got. And that's why we use multiple accounts. You know, instead of taking short-term profit all the time and trying to be that trader that shorts the top, longs the bottom, and never misses anything, well, you have one account that's looking for maximum potential, and then you have one account that's looking for short-term profit, and then you have another account that's just kind of building up the portfolio at opportune points and holding onto it for dear life because Bitcoin only go up. In the end, obviously we have pit stops. But to say it's just Elliott Wave is kind of discounting it. Even though I, explain it in terms of it's so much more simple than Elliott Wave, it's not more simple in terms of psychology. Because although it sounds easier, it's not. The reason why people flock to Elliott Wave is because it gives some sort of rhyme or reason to the market. It makes you feel safe and secure with its Fibonacci targets and its retracements and extensions. It gives you a feeling of, what's going to happen. Just kind of chillax, man. I got rules to follow. But then those rules might be biting you in the ass all the time. And your comfortability is what's causing you to lose out on potential profit. ABCs, on the other hand, although the entry is simple, and it does require some sort of discretion on the structures that you're playing. Past that point, it is exponentially harder to admit to yourself that you don't know what the top is going to be. You don't know what the bottom is going to be. And you have to hold on to a long position until the market gives you another available long position. And sometimes people freaking hate that. And it eats them alive because we might have a very sharp retracement to the downside or to the upside versus the trade that they're in. And they might want to just take profit because they're scared it's going to turn to nothing. But then we put in an ABC, and you can now exit that short or long, enter from the new opportune point where the market should stay bullish or bearish from that point, and hopefully continue. And sometimes you don't get that. And people hate that. They hate being at the will of the market. An Elliott Wave makes you feel like you're the one in control. And that's not how you make money. You don't make money in the market by being in control. You make money in the market by listening and then being there when the crazy shit goes down. All right? FTX crash. I was short because the market told me to go short. And I was short all the way down to the bottom of the FTX crash, not because I knew that FTX was going to crash, but because I was short. And I don't pretend I know where the market's going to land. So therefore, I'm riding that wave all the way down. Whereas other people, they might have taken profit. If I go back over here to the FTX short. All right. Right here, we had A to a B to a C. So I was short because we had an A to a B to a C. All right. And I didn't take profit at the 0.618 or the 0.382 or the 0.441 or whatever it might be, right? Because I don't pretend to know where the market's going to go. So I was short all the way down. I think I took my profit on that short either right here off of this. I think it was that one there. I took profit here, or depending on which chart I was playing off of, I think we didn't put in a lower low right here. Ended up taking profit off of that. But either or, that's the whole point. Although it's simpler, it is harder. Thanks, Jared. He said, I like this guy. Kite, you cool. Thank you. In Elliott Wave, it has so many different variations, WXYZs, WXYs, all that kind of stuff. So when something goes wrong and goes against your rule set, you spend so much time trying to figure out what went wrong. How do I get back into a trade? With me, if an entry doesn't work out, I just wait for the next one. It doesn't really matter how long it takes. And if you're playing on multiple accounts, hopefully you got something else going on. I found you after your videos about Market Cipher. Do you ever look at that indicator anymore, or is it just ABCs? It's just ABCs. I've explained it on stream. The only indicator that I ever really take a look at anymore is the RSI. And of course, I'll look at like MACD, death crosses, stuff like that. But that doesn't impact my trades. Like, I don't take a trade because the RSI has a divergence. I don't take a trade because we have a death cross. All right. I'll look for divergences off of like a more smoothed out version of the RSI, like the 125. But I take my trades because the trades are available, not because we have a divergence. Now, if we have a divergence, it gives me a little bit more excitement for what the trade might have in store. But for example, right, we did not have a divergence off of this ABC top. All right, you can see higher high, no divergence, but yet extreme amounts of price action came into play. Right here, higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high, no divergence, but yet pretty decent downtrend here. Over here, we had a lower low with a higher low, divergence. All right, does it make me get into a trade? No. All right, I get into a trade because we have A to a B to a C. All right, and my entry would be here no matter what. Does it give me a little bit more confidence in the upside price action that might come from that trade? Yeah, but that still doesn't prevent me from taking a head short. But it's nice to see that. It's nice to kind of get that feeling of, hey, this trade might be a banger. Other than that, I don't use any indicators. It's all just the market itself. And then risk management, and more importantly, letting the market go where the market's going to go. All right. I took the long positions here because we had the entries, and you can see it's not quite working out at the moment. But if the market wants to continue going down, so be it. I personally think ABCs are liquidity sweeps that ICT teaches. ICT, I've looked at him, and I've had conversations with people that follow him religiously, almost like a cult. I think the guy is absolutely batshit insane from everything that I have heard him say. And although if you kind of pull back all of the bullshit, you can see what you're talking about in terms of ABCs. But once again, just like how an indicator might make things convoluted, this isn't me trying to start drama. All right, there is a really good, I forgot the name of the dude, but he basically did a deep dive on ICT, exposing him for a lot of different things. The dude does not seem like a good dude. But just like how indicators have the problem of making things convoluted, I personally do believe that although he could make things incredibly simplistic and still make a good amount of money and have integrity, he starts stacking stuff that requires more finesse. All right. I had a conversation with someone, and they swore up and down, left, right, and sideways, that ICT is just a good guy. He doesn't charge anything. He doesn't have any courses, blah, blah, blah. And I took that as truth. But the dude has made millions of dollars off of selling his courses because he had courses for a very long period of time, but he wiped it clean. So I personally believe that in order to sell those courses, you have to make your style of trading seem very, very complicated so that people are forced to buy your course to even understand what the hell you're talking about. And that's why you know, I like ABCs. Am I claiming that you're going to be the most profitable? No, but I really don't care. I know I am. So I'm just here to kind of talk and, make friends so that crypto isn't such a lonely world. Now, of course, from like a channel perspective, I have a Patreon with a Discord in it. I have the one-on-one sessions, but that's always been something that I've taken pride in. All right, I don't sell you a course where it's just me talking to a camera. All right, and you just kind of got to figure it out based off what I say. If you want to learn, I'll show up. I'll talk to you face to face. And I think that's the difference. But yeah, I did a little background research on ICT because I did see similarities in what I do versus he does. But once again, although on some of the things that trading wise I can agree with, I cannot agree with him as a person. And also just like the straight up lies as well, saying like he wrote the code, and he's kind of playing into that market manipulator thing that some people like to run with, where everything is a setup and that the market is entirely foreseeable, and that you just have to read between the lines, and it's all the matrix. I think that's the dumbest load of shit I've ever heard. All right, market manipulation, plain and simple. Is there people with a substantial amount of money to perhaps move the candlestick in one way or another? Absolutely. That's just how a market works. All right. But once again, it's not like they can manipulate things to such a degree that it causes a black swan or whatever it might be. It simply comes down to they have enough money to flip a domino. Now, how far that domino trail runs is totally up to kind of luck. But they can flip that domino if they so wish. So that's as far as market manipulation as I will take it. I do agree that there's people with more money that can influence support and resistance levels and perhaps push the probability to one side or the other. I agree. But to say that everything is set in stone and that you just have to learn to read between these lines and that I wrote an algorithm that's now being used, that is complete schizophrenia. All right, get out of here with that. I will not support that kind of shit. Like, ridiculous. If you had a kid and you were going to start saving a saving vault for them, what two assets would you progressively compound interest? One crypto and one stock. The stock is a little bit harder. I feel like with the stock, you should go for security, and then with the crypto, you should go for risk. So, I mean, the easy answer would be Bitcoin and the S&P 500 index. Because, I mean, although Bitcoin has started to reach its potential of, we won't be seeing the craziest gains, definitely better than the stock market, but not what we would see in early Bitcoin. It still has a good bit to give. It definitely does. So I feel like with a savings account, you shouldn't be looking to like go crazy with it. So yeah, Bitcoin and the S&P 500 index. Security plus good bit of profit. Have you ever tried Ninja Trader Kite? I have not even heard of that. Is it an indicator? I'm assuming. Rick, what's going on, man? How you doing, buddy? We all want that God candle to 90K. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? That'd be ultra nice. The biggest issue with ICT is how mentally unstable he is if you watch him for a while. Yeah. I'm just now reading your message about that, but yeah, that's essentially what I was talking about. Like, the dude wholeheartedly admits that he's made more money from selling courses than he ever has trading. He has been caught multiple times using a demo account. And to me, like, why use a demo account besides the fact that you want to act like you have a lot of money that you're trading with? I rather start a $100 portfolio and have honest trades on the board that people can extrapolate through percentages whether or not they were good trades. If they can look past a $50 profit, but when you put things 2 and 2 together, $50 profit on a $100 account, that's a lot. All right. I'd rather do that and maintain integrity and honesty than go play on a demo account and pretend like I'm $100,000 in profit. That, to me, you're not a good person. I don't care how good your trading method is. You're not a good person. You have severe schizophrenia. You claim to be like this almost god in the market, but yet you're a loser. Black Swan win? I don't know. Maybe soon. Who knows? We need to definitely keep an eye on a couple things. So the NASDAQ, all right, if we get back below 16,776, that's not really good. Now, the market right now is saying to me that we probably want to go back down and retest this last local high. Now, if things work out towards the bulls, we would put in that lower low, retest the last local high, confirm support, and get back above this local low. That would definitely be a bullish structure for continuation of the upside. But if we got back down below that level, that would spell a recession. The SPY has almost put in a higher high, which that is a possible death point. All right, if we put in that higher high and come back down above, that could be a potential macro reversal for retests of at least this local low to this local low here, if we can't get back above that. But if those two fail, then we'll probably come back down and retest 462, and that would be quite a drop here. That'd be about 18%. And then obviously if we get back down below the macro local high here, then we'd probably come back down to 405 to 389 or 339. And that'd be about a 40% drop. The NASDAQ company, NASDAQ Inc., continues to charge to the upside. And we are in kind of a warning level, where if we do happen to come back down below 68.78, just like in 2008, all right, this is 2008 right here, we had an A to a B to a C top, which would have told you to get out of the market January 28th, or January, January 2nd, 2008, and then you wouldn't have re-entered the market until the market found support back above this A to a B to a C. You can see how the market reacted to that. It's really awesome to see. The market kept finding resistance, and then finally we broke through it, came back down, retested it as support. Once the market was pretty sure that we were done, then we started to cruise to the upside. It's really awesome to see support and resistance be respected like that. But yeah, we have another opportunity. And over the next couple of weeks, I definitely am going to be watching this previous last local high here. If we come back down below it, we could have a repeat scenario of 2008. The monthly candle is going to close on a market weekend. You're talking about iMan trading. Yep, iMan trading. He did a video on ICT that pretty much went into everything. Not gonna lie, I've gotten a lot of clarity from watching his content. Can't talk about him personally. His algorithm talk is also a bit crazy. And like I said, if you really peel back the personality and a lot of the stuff that overcomplicates trading, you can start to see instances of profitability in how he trades. But like I said, when you start adding in all these different things, the only answer that I really see is that he does that so that it's more complicated for the viewer. Therefore, they are more likely to buy a course because they need these things to be explained to them. ABCs, yeah, every once in a while people will have a question about like what time frame do I typically spot ABCs on, and what kind of stop loss do I use? But hopefully what I'm talking about here is so easy that you can go and just do it. You might need a little bit of pointers in the right direction on stop loss and stuff like that, but other than that, you know what you're looking for. But if I start adding in fair value market gaps and start worrying about volume and start throwing a couple indicators on my screen, start talking about the EMA, now it just starts really getting complicated because you now run into more and more instances where this indicator might be saying this, but your chart's saying this, but we have a fair value market gap that's calling for more downside because it wants to be retested. You start running into so many instances where you're confused. And obviously, when you're confused, you go to the person who is teaching the material and you ask them. And if that person's selling you a course for $500, you might just buy it, even though that person might not be the best person to buy it from. And that's what I run into when I look at people like that. Even though, like I said, at the very core, you can see good ideas, you can see what the true intention is of the person that's presenting those ideas. Wouldn't you just go with BTC and Apple then? Apple's a good one. I would go more with the companies that are influencing the components of Apple, because obviously if Apple's doing well, those ones should be doing better. So maybe AMD or NVIDIA, or maybe both, because that is a growing market with AI and processing. Obviously NVIDIA has been performing exponentially better. AMD, their Ryzen chips are exceptional. Would you enter a larger time frame ABC with the same stop loss as a small time frame setup? It depends on the coin. So I've talked about it many times that Bitcoin, because of the high liquidity, the supports and resistances are more often respected. So therefore your stop losses can be shorter, and in turn your profit larger. When you're going to other coins like Cardano, all right, there tends to be a lot more fluctuation with the supports and resistances, a lot more wicks to one side or the other. So more instances of getting stopped out if you're using a smaller stop loss. So on Cardano, for example, I'm using a 2.25% stop loss. On Sol, because of the larger time frame setup, I'm using a 1.5% stop loss. And then on Bitcoin, I'm using a 1% stop loss. And I don't really change the size of the stop loss based off of the size of the ABC. I more so change it off of the coin itself and the likelihood that the supports and resistances will be respected, aka not getting stopped out as often. Kite, I got some drinks for you that actually look good. Drinks? Baba, PayPal, Disney, all look like they'll go to the upside eventually, and this could be a bottom for them. So I'm assuming that's Alibaba, PayPal, and Disney. So, Baba. Yeah, Alibaba. The wicks on this are kind of crazy, but yeah, I mean, so we can see an A to a B to a C bottoming pattern, and support has been thoroughly retested in this region. We had an A to a B to a C upon that retest of support. So yeah, it does look like it wants to come back up to the top of the range here and start retesting the macro local lows. And then you said Disney. Okay, so I mean, I can see that. We have support from the local low here. On the immediate trend, we have A to a B to a C upon that retest of support. We have come back down to retest it. So yeah, I mean, if we can get a nice bounce from here, we'll come back up to retest these two regions for possible continuation. I would be a little bit more comfortable if this ended up turning into a larger ABC structure though. But that's currently what we have, so we'll see. And then PayPal. PayPal, not so much. You know, I could draw an ABC within this. Obviously, that support level would be here, but it's not really like super appetizing. But you could take a chance on it. I mean, it's a pretty simple area to play. You know, you have the smaller time frame ABC here. All right, so I mean, if you're below that level, you're out. If you're above this level, you're in. It's pretty cut and dry. Now, there's not a lot of resistance on this downtrend, so if we did happen to break back to the upside, the hope would be is that it's a pretty easy and simple climb back up. But obviously, when you're working with stocks, there's other factors besides just supply and demand and support and resistance, which is supply and demand. You do have to worry about like profit, revenue, and profit expectations, stuff like that. So it's not as cut and dry per se. Sol is hanging on by a thread right now. Is it stuck? It's stuck. There we go. All right, so Sol is in the red now. Like I said, I did take the Sol trade a little bit before the actual entry, so you know, if I was sitting in that trade, I probably would be close to getting stopped out right now if I took it like that. Yeah, I'd be pretty close to getting stopped out. But I'm not too concerned if we do happen to get kicked out of that. We took profit on the Tron short to cover that loss. Simran, have a good day, buddy. Appreciate you being here. Last one, TLT. That one actually looks bearish to me. Short term. For a downside retest. So obviously with the rate cut coming up, technically that should hurt this. But we do have an ABC top, and our last known major support level was at 85. So with that ABC top, you have pretty much free and clear all the way back down to 86. So not exactly bullish in my eyes. From a longer term perspective, yeah, I wouldn't say it's quite bullish. Obviously, if you can get your entry down here, then you can play it for the potential for it to become bullish. At the moment, it doesn't scream bullish. From like a weekly perspective, you have resistance, resistance. Obviously, this would become resistance if we got back below that level. So you have a lot of macro resistance to the upside, and you really don't have a strong bottoming pattern to the downside. At least not yet. Pyromotive, what's going on, man? Been a long time. When rates go down, the price of bonds goes up. I did not know that. Not exactly how I think it would work. Just from like a simplistic perspective. I don't deal with that market, but I would think that it would be the opposite of that. But if that's what you're saying, it still doesn't really change my idea on the chart that much. Now, if we can get back above that A, then we're bullish again. But at the moment, not so much. Now, what would really hurt my feelings is if I go to the Tron chart right now and it's dumped 20%. All right. It hasn't. I saw you in Jason Casper's chat the other day, AZ, and I added you with a heart. So I was just in my car, and I was going around to the different crypto YouTubers, trying to see what everybody's perspective was on the market. $3,000 BTC. What's going on, man? It has been a long time. Welcome back. Just a boring Saturday, retesting previous supports. If we can break it, that's where things could get exciting. Now, I mean, Sol does have the macro opportunity down here at 120, 121. I would still need to see a in trend ABC for me to take advantage off that, even on a smaller time frame. Just to have a little bit of confluence. But that would be another opportunity if things were to really go to the downside. ADA would have something similar around the 31 cent mark. And then obviously Bitcoin at the $53,500 mark. But we'll see. We'll see. When 57,000? Maybe by the end of the day here. I mean, 57,844 to be exact. All right, that's our last known level of support to be bullish from. If we break through that, we probably will proceed down to 56K, and then if 56K doesn't hold, then that's when we will probably make a stab at that 53.5 to $54,700 mark. I've noticed Bitcoin is literally just sitting on top of the February 2021 highs. February 2021 highs. The February 2022 high? Right here? I mean, it's just a matter of how everything lined up. So I mean, we had resistance creation, resistance retest, resistance retest confirm as support. If you guys can give me like 5 minutes, just gotta go to the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. CZ gets out of prison soon. For sure he's going to sell so much crypto when he gets out. I don't know about that. He might sell enough to get a kickstart back into whatever he was doing, but I don't think he's just going to dump the market. Doesn't make sense for him to, right? Let's get a close-up on Soul. There we go. Why is there different? What's the difference between arrow? What's magic? I didn't know this was a thing. That's pretty good. That's epic. So right here on your chart, that's awesome. I want to be using that more. Let me favorite that. That's so cool. No, let me favorite. I can't favorite it. No. Why? And that makes trading so much more exciting. You learn something new every day. So I get stopped out of Soul when it hits a $12 worth of loss. So we will see if that happens today. It's looking likely because if Soul's already there and Bitcoin has the availability to come all the way back down to 57,837 while still remaining bullish, there's a likelihood. Sometimes when you go to the Doge chart, a dog will pop up. This is a good way to trick me into going to Doge. I guess we weren't lucky. I don't have hardware acceleration on, I don't think. Let's relaunch that. There we go. All right, now it's smooth. The macro Litecoin trade is the easiest trade. Buy $40, sell 200. Oh, I see what you're saying. Our support level is at 62 on a macro time frame. Our support level is at about $53. Yeah, so $53. And then if that does happen to continue to hold as support, well, we definitely would be retesting at minimum 115 to 294. Not a bad trade. Yep, just a boring day in crypto. So I'm gonna start the outro procedure here. Like I said on Sol, it all remains the same. If I do happen to get stopped out, unfortunately, if we come back above 136, I'll be re-entering that trade. If we proceed aggressively, and I'm talking down to like, 120, 118, all right, that's when it becomes a matter of I need to hold out for something in order to give me that confirmation to hop back into that trade, because I can't just re-enter it based off of that. As for Bitcoin, we really aren't to the point yet where I'm necessarily afraid of getting stopped out. We do have plenty of room to retest to the downside without getting stopped out. But once again, if we don't move significantly far, aka coming back down to like 56,000, I'll be playing that entry still. Same thing goes for Cardano. If we do move probably down into the 32-cent region, I'll probably have to wait for something a little bit more significant. But other than that, everything just kind of remains the same. I have a fair bit of confidence that these are just downside retests confirming support. But if everything was to fail, we'll reassess either tomorrow or the next day, depending on when those new patterns start to show themselves. Let's go ahead and open up Wordle. We failed yesterday because someone wanted to give us a dumbass word. But I guess, hey, it's a win because it adds vocab to my language. Easy. Easy peasy. See, that's what I come to expect from Wordle. Alright? It's a word that I know. Spout. I really would have loved to get it on Scout. But there was Stout. Scout, shout. So it could have been a couple different things. So definitely got lucky on spout. I'm glad you made money on it. But to say something like that is the future of finance, to me that's a bit silly. I know you're joking though. But I did have someone in the comments that was actually legitimately mad that I had a good chuckle at dog with hat. They're like, you don't understand, Kite. You don't understand. You're gonna be left in the past. Dog with hat is the future. Get your life together. Get your house in order, because dog with hat will make billionaires. I'm like, all right, man. Chillax, man. I didn't mean to get you mad at your dog coin. Dog with hat will murder your firstborn. All right, guys, we'll be here for maybe another 5 minutes or so. I've gone over the plan, my entries, my exits, and now it's left in the hands of the market. Is this going to be a downside retest with a nice rebound to the upside? Or are we going to destroy ourselves? I've seen the dog with hat. Dog with hat. The picture is hilarious. I will say that. Very cute dog. And look, you even got a dog with gun and hat. Oh my goodness. His soul is pumping again. There is hope. There is fire on the 1 minute time frame. We are saved. There's a 1 minute time frame ABC. We are saved. Everything is good. Life will continue. Krishna, what's going on, man? How you doing? Just gotta get back above this level here. And at that point, I would assume there's at least gonna be a retest of 139. That would be a problem area. In order for Soul to really give me a lot of confidence, we would have to recollect the support at 140. If we can collect that support, that's when I have a little bit more confidence in a full retest of, you know, like 162. That support is at 140.63. You can see that shown in the chart right here. No, I'm not saying that that's an ABC I would ever enter on. I'm just saying from like a local low perspective, if we recollected that support, it gives me a fair bit more confidence on the further upside. Oh no, the 1 minute time frame ABC didn't help us. We're back in the red. What's going on? Please. Please show mercy. Show mercy. It's all good in the hood. We're just retesting previous resistance on the 1 minute time frame. I love how I can look at it from that perspective now. You know, I'm sure at some point in my history, I actually legitimately was that person. But now I can kind of just say it as a joke. Falling wedge on the 1 minute, 100x long. Oh no, we broke back below our possible support region. We're gonna go back down to 134. Oh no, we're back above it now. There's hope. There's hope. Come on. Come on, Soul. Please. Please, Soul, please don't do this. You have to persevere. Life must go on. Oh, there you go. Fight. Fight. Oh, yeah. We made it. Candle close above. You son of a bitch. It didn't have to do it like that. Come on. This is why you can't have good things on the 1 minute chart. You just can't. Cause shit like that. I'm just playing some crypto games for the Play 2 airdrop events while I was finding some good ABC setups. Nice modern. Oh my gosh, we're back. Man, that was a real scare right there. We're recollecting that support. Getting back above that resistance. Just kidding, it was just a retest to confirm resistance. Man, the emotional roller coaster that is the 1 minute time frame. Oh my goodness. Yikes. I'll never financially recover from that 1 minute time frame candle. That's what it felt like, man. I can see how people get wrapped up in that. I mean, that was exciting. That was manipulation at its finest. All right, so now we just have to hold our support region here. All right. That's our next local low on a macro time frame. All right, so we're going back down to retest our local low. All right, that's our highest chance of finding a higher low and starting an uptrend. Come on. Fight. No. Fight. I'm losing the house. What is going on? What was profit on Tron? It was like $23. I can go check for you. Why did it split it up? I guess I had to sell it in multiple chunks. So $10 plus $12 plus 64 cents. So about like $22, $23 worth of profit. All right. We failed at the intermediary local low. All right, now we have found momentary support off of our macro local low. Can we reclaim these regions to continue to the upside? You know, price action needs to break through 135, and then we can go back up and retest 135, and then we can go back up and retest 136, and then we can go back up and retest 136. Guys, I don't mean to be like a Super Bowl right now, but we do have an inverse head and shoulders on the 1 minute chart. So that means we're okay. You know, we have left shoulder, head, right shoulder. All right, so that means that we're going to do that, right? Buddy. It's back to McDonald's for the Soul Bros. I won't count your cards yet, AZ. All right, we have an inverse head and shoulders. We're going to do big things. Some new person is going to join the stream and have no idea you're trolling. I just thought about that. They're going to legitimately think that I am. And the sad part of it is that they'll probably like that. They're probably like, this guy thinks just like me. I saw that inverse head and shoulders on the 1 minute chart as well. This guy's on to something. Come on, Soul. Please. Don't do this. All right, this is our last level of support. If we fail here, I mean, we're going all the way back down to 133. Don't do this. Come on, please. So, no. Don't give up. No. Oh, God. It's over. It's over. What am I going to tell my family? Oh, no. Come back. You don't have to jump. Just go back above that line like nothing happened. Come on, buddy. It's going to be okay. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has down days. You just have to get back above support. It's going to be okay, sport. Come on. Hey, Kite, what's the average ROI on your trades? In the past, it was a 9 restored ratio. But nowadays, when I collect profits on a trade, typically it's much, much higher. I would say around the 15 to 20 R&R mark. Now, don't get me wrong, I do get stopped out more than the average player, but the trades that I do win, I let them work out to their fullest potential. So I tend to walk away with a lot higher R&Rs, which allows me to have instances where, you know, trades just don't work out. We still live, baby. Oh, you're right. We're still in the game. All right, we're back above support. Oh my goodness. All right. Very bullish indeed. All right, now we have to start taking out some of these highs here, and we're good to go. Very bullish indeed. All right, we have the ABC bottom. All right. Right here, we got the ABC. Double layered. Twin peaked up. So now, we just have to get back above 134. And then we can get all the way back up to 136. And then we can get all the way back up to 137. And then we can get all the way back up to 138. All right, that's the name of the game. So we got to do. Unbelievable. I hate this game. Who invented this? Because I think ICT invented it. At least that's what he says. According to my strategy, if we close daily red candle day, we're going down. Well, that could be true. Do you use regular candles or volume candles? I tend to use Hakanishi most of the time. These are Hakanishi candles here. But just because we're being little crackheads, I'm using actual candles. Yep, the whales are protecting 134.50. Now we are back underneath the support. And we're retesting it. Can we win? Can the Bulls pull through? 1 minute black swan event imminent. That's what it's starting to feel like, man. My heart's pumping. This is intense, man. This is a battle. Yeah, we did. We had a bullish morning star candle, and now we go up. All right, and it was a little bit hunchback. All right, there's still an inverse head and shoulders. All right, he's a little bit Unstable. Come on. You got this. Do your thing. Keep going. Up to the upside. Bloop. Up to the upside. Come on. Bloop. No. You son of a bitch. All the live streams are going to be like this from now on. 1 minute time frame. Constant cussing. At every little jump and blump and dump. I hope you guys enjoy the future of the channel. And don't participate. Don't follow along with anything I ever say again, if this is the way that's going to go. Bullish. We go up. There we go. We found support. We need a $10 DGen ABC 100x leverage play for fun. No. That does not sound fun. I mean, on like a 1 minute time frame, taking like $5. The 1 minute time frame just is ass. Like who thinks that this is legitimately fun to put themselves through? Like Christ. You don't get it, man. I'm a high risk scalp boy. You just wouldn't understand the lifestyle. No, I understand the lifestyle. It just sucks. To put it frankly, it just sucks, man. Come on. You have to just try. Cortisol through the roof every hour of every dang day. Honestly, I remember being at work and trying to play the 1 minute chart. And I would be in the Market Cipher Discord chat, being like, all right, guys, I think it's going to go here. I think it's going to go there. What in the world was going through my brain at that moment in time? What was I thinking? What a stupid way to approach trading. I don't care if it sounds mean. All right, because I'm talking about my past. All right, I'm talking about me. I'm calling myself a stupid, brain-dead idiot. So, I mean, if you take offense to that, that's on you. Oh! Not a good. Not a good. Come on. Continue. Up. Go up. Go up. Never stop going up. And then go up more. Come on. You got this. We just really keep dancing around that support. Now do 4 pairs on 1 minute simultaneously. That sounds like a heart attack. And that's the thing about like trading the way that I trade now as well. Like, although I don't like the little ads that pop up on TradingView, because I am no longer, I don't necessarily need 4 charts open at one time. I don't need the subscription. And they've increased the price dramatically. It used to be like $7. Now it's like $20 just for like the basic plan. I would say the only thing that is of any value to my trading style would be the alerts, the ability to set up multiple alerts. But in reality, you know, if I set up an alert on Bitcoin and it dumps below its support, then I'm probably stopped out on all my other trades. So, oh, big candle go up and everything will be fine. You still doing Wim Hof breathing? Yep. I don't do it like every day religiously, but when I go to bed, if I can't sleep or if I'm just kind of bored, I'll do that for about 30 minutes to an hour. And I haven't had any of the mystical experiences that I once had with it. Not really out of, I've tried, but I feel like it's one of those things that if you try to force it, it just doesn't happen. It's a little bit discouraging, but hopefully one day it will happen again. Sorry. Because I remember, so hold on. What, yeah, so it's not showing me. There we go. Yeah, it's $60 a month for premium, $30 a month for plus, and $15 a month for essential. 2 charts per tab. I don't know, I might invest back into the essential one, just like I said, just for the technical alerts. That to me definitely is worthwhile. But I don't need 4 charts on my screen. I don't need 8 charts on my screen. I don't need 100 different price alerts. The extra bars, because a lot of the times I'm explaining previous price action and stuff like that, it does help, but for the most part, don't necessarily need it. But yeah, you're right. Wait for Black Friday. They typically have a really good yearly sale. So yeah, I'll probably wait for that. 1 minute time frame ABC has worked out. You know, we're going to be retesting our macro local high here at 135. If we can break through that, we are golden. Do I still use Market Cipher B? No, I do not. Do I still have Fu Manchu on here? I do not. This is market cipher just without all the cool graphics. Fu Manchu Cipher B. And I really like how CryptoFace, I remember back in the day when I had this up on my screen, he since then has implemented these red and green dots where the wave closes. So he's always willing to take something from someone else. And Fu Manchu even spots out the divergences for you. See that? Lower lows, higher lows. Shows you the divergence right there. Boom. Straight to the downside. Blood diamond. Blood diamond. Blood diamond. Alright, so let's go out to the 4-hour chart. Bullish. Very bullish. Green dots. Green buy signal. Very bullish. Back above the 50 on the stochastic. Bullish. Let's see. What does market cipher A say? Market cipher A. Blood diamond. 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 They put a blood diamond here? Damn, that sucks. Anybody that sold because of that. Blood diamond. Money flow, carving back up. Blood diamond. I wouldn't say it's the worst indicator ever. It's just about the honesty behind it. Be open and upfront that these things exist outside of your indicator. Don't act like you have the magic sauce. And then beyond that, like I said, with those indicators, you just run into so many problems. You go to the daily time frame and you see a blood diamond that doesn't end up working out. It might influence your trades on the smaller time frames. You might cut your profits short. You go to the 5-minute time frame and you're seeing bullish divergences, but the macro is heavy leaning to the downside. So you might go ultra long because the 5 minutes. There's just too many instances where it can get you into trouble, and you just need to have good habits. Now, if you can find a way to build out your macro bias and work it in, I'm sure you can find success with an indicator, but there's too many problems that I think it outweighs the possible good. And if you just have a little bit of basic understanding of what the market would like to do, doesn't necessarily mean that it will do it, but what it would like to do. If we're getting the rejected at the top of a range, then most likely it would like to go retest the bottom of the range. Doesn't necessarily mean that it has to get all the way there, and that's why we look for certain instances where it might be showing signs that it won't go all the way there. All right, which is kind of what we got on Bitcoin on the macro. All right, we got rejected at the top of the range. It came back down, it retested the bottom of the range, even put in an extension. All right, now we're going back up to retest the top of the range. But we saw a moment where price action was not really looking to be more bullish, so we played into it. It's just about being willing to participate rather than be a guard. Not not Fu Manchu, the real Cypher B with the real money flow. That's hilarious. So Fu Manchu, the only difference between Fu Manchu and Market Cypher B is that on Fu Manchu, you can actually tweak the settings. So yeah, if you have Market Cypher B on your screen, you can tweak Fu Manchu to be identical. All right, all Market Cypher B from that section of YouTube is already existing indicators that have preset settings that you can no longer touch. Does that make it real? No. All right. It just means that there's a difference in the what's the word I'm looking for? In the smoothing of said indicator. All right. It's the same thing as like me, using the RSI, and I prefer to use the 125 RSI. But then you come onto the stream and go, no, use the real RSI. Well, you see what I'm saying, right? This is the RSI, but I have changed a setting that smooths it and gets rid of all the nicks and crannies. And I'm looking for the larger pieces of information. You can see how there's no difference. It is the RSI, just the settings are different. So, I mean, that's what Fu Manchu versus Market Cypher B is. If you wanted to, you could turn Fu Manchu into an identical copy, but there is some advantage to being able to tweak things and look for larger patterns, such that you could be on the 5-minute time frame, but your indicator is showing you higher levels, so that way you can have less influence of the smaller blips in price action. I've been trying the Zens directly from Sweden. You can see on the side of the box here. Denna product inhaler nicotine som är ett makint. I'm not even gonna. That is a long ass word. I'm typing that in chat. All right, and then we'll copy it into Google. BROENDEFRAMKA. LLANDE. You're telling me that's a real word? Excuse me? That's a long ass word to be using in a regular sentence, right? All right, let's go back to dog with hat real quick. Google Translate. You're telling me you need a 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. You need a 20-letter word to spell addictive? That's crazy. You gotta tighten up the language. Amani. But yeah, they're only like $1.50 more than the ones that are Americanized, and it comes with like 25% more pouches, and they're larger. And like these pouches, so there's a lot more craftsmanship in the box. So like you have this top section where you can store your in-use pouches. That way, like, you don't have to immediately throw it away. You can use it for 10-20 minutes, put it in the top, take it back out later, use it again. There's no child lock on it, which makes it safer when driving because I don't have to line up the arrows. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm not saying that's good for you by any means, but bang for your buck. Are we bullish again? Like how I did the outro procedure like 30 minutes ago. We are bullish. We have recovered the high. If we can hold it as support, we are good to go. Come on, if we can recover this high, then we can go back up to the next one right here. Come on. Come on. Okay, retest it as support, but then get a move on. All right, we ain't got all day. Denna product inhaler, nicotine, som air, et macet, berunde, emi. How do you even pronounce? How do you pronounce that? Hold on. I'm getting a little bit neck sick off that.
Beroendeframkallande. Beroendeframkallande. Beroendeframkallande.
There's no hope. I'm not going to be able to pronounce that.
Beroendeframkallande.
I got no clue. I got no hope on that one. God forbid the Swedish takeover. We're all screwed. Okay, so it looks like we got rejected from that high. Hopefully we can maintain support at 134.84. Jello, Mr. Kite, and fellow kite enjoyers. Jello to you. How do you do? I'm trying to make price action happy. Hopefully that'll work. It's not working. Okay, I think it's time to go. We've done enough joking around on the smaller time frames. Like I said, you can take a screenshot or whatever. These are my entry points for Bitcoin, Sol, and Cardano. As it stands, we do have the market structure to maintain bullishness. If we happen to go below those lows and I get stopped out, depending on how far away that we go, will determine whether or not I continue to play these entry points if we get back to them. I do not plan on taking short-term profit on any of these trades. These trades are taken in expectation of continuation to the top of the ranges, which at that point I probably still wouldn't be letting go of them unless we form a continuation structure. I probably would only be taking the opposite trades, which those ones would probably be short-term. But yeah, as it stands, I am happy with these entries. Soul obviously is putting up a little bit of a fight, but we have plenty of room to either side on Bitcoin and ADA. And hopefully things work out in our favor, but if they don't, so be it. That is the will of the market. I appreciate you guys for showing up today. A little bit of a degen stream. I know it was kind of a boring Saturday. Not much price action to really talk about. But I'll see you guys tomorrow or the next day or sometime soon. And we will continue to grow this small portfolio and hopefully something magical and do some good things with it. You know, there's some giveaways and stuff like that in the future. Yeah. I appreciate you guys. We'll say goodbye here. Mike Hero, love your ABC video, changed my life. I'm glad, man. Hopefully you've been having some good success with it. Keeping your head clear, staying off the smaller time frames, sticking to, you know, the larger entries. You know, not like that, but like this. And if you stick to that, I do think that you'll continue to have some really good success with it. Forex Suplex, I think I'll go watch that ABC video. I enjoyed his fib video. Talking about the Gone fans? Gone, dude, I can't believe, like, I hate that that is one of my most popular videos. By far. Let's see, hold on. What is my most watched video? Well, I know that it's how to make money fast in school is one of them. Videos, popular. Yeah, we got, yeah, I cannot believe that the Gone Fib and Fib retracements. That was 4 years ago. I've grown so much since then. In my mindset towards trading. I don't necessarily think it was a bad thing, but once again, it's just one of those things where I don't, looking back on it, I just don't see the consistency in it that I once did. Of course, you got Market Cipher here. That was a good video. Dude, I was so good at that game. I was number 38 in the world. 38, 34, somewhere in the 30s. I was destructive. Yep. Alright, guys. I will see you on the flip. Whether that's tomorrow or the next day. I will see you then. Play some Be the Nomad. I haven't really listened to any of these songs. So we'll kind of take a shot in the dark here. How big is your small account? We started at $100 about a week and a half ago, maybe. And so far, we're up to about 250. With the take profit from today, it's closer to 270. And obviously, if we get stopped out a bit, then kind of run it down. But yeah, you know, we've grown over 100% just off the last couple of trades. And I mean, if these trades go well, we will definitely be much farther than that. You know, we talked about Soul, how there could be a potential of like $500 profit on that. Bitcoin, you know, $300 profit on that. And then ADA, you know, $400 to $600 profit on that one. So yeah, you know, if things go correct or go in our favor, we're going to be sitting pretty. And then we go from 1,000 to 10,000, and then 10,000 to 100,000, 100,000 to 1,000,000, 1,000,000 to 10 million, 10 million to 1 billion. And then we take over the world and create our own country. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. All right, guys. Love you very much. Thanks for stopping in. I'll see you soon. Let's go ahead and do the thing and head off for today. Hopefully these trades are in the clean and green next time we come in here. Look into my eyes. Forget. Forget. Bye.
She got the blue hair, she's a stoner. She's getting with a player, Casanova. But me, I'm not the same man. I've been sober, cause when I hit the bottle, wanna phone her. Hello, hello, hello. She ain't okay. Ooh, ooh. If she ain't, I ain't okay. I got her in the whole game. Ooh, ooh. I saw her at the arcade. Yeah. She got the blue hair. She's a stoner. She's getting with a player, Casanova. To me, I'm not the same man. I've been sober, cause when I hit the bottle, wanna phone her. Hello, hello, hello. Is anybody out there? Oh, 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 oh. I ain't okay, ooh, ooh, but she don't give a damn about me. She got a case of road rage, ooh, ooh, whenever she come round about me. While we're picking and choosing what we fighting about. Careful doors are coming out of your mouth. You're dipping and skipping on a different route. I'm careful what this girl is about. Well, she got the blue hair, she's a stoner. She's getting with a player, Casanova. To me, I'm not the same man. I've been sober, cause when I hit the bottle, wanna phone her. Hello, hello.